Hey YouTube, what's happening? Chris here. I want to bring you guys a little tutorial today. What we're going to be going over is the symmetrical triangle. I think this is absolutely one you want to have in your toolbox. In the cryptocurrency space especially, we've seen a lot of these symmetrical triangles. And what we're going to do today, we're going to go over all the characteristics, the identification characteristics of it, discussion about it, the different things that make it a symmetrical triangle, and what happens with this symmetrical triangle. Is it more bullish, is it more bearish? We're going to get into all that, and some of the examples I'm going to be giving you here, some of the information is out of the Encyclopedia of Chart Patterns by Thomas Bulkowski. And what he's done, he's broken down basically the success rate of about 68 or 70 different chart patterns, and he writes about 16 pages on all the different percentages, you know, if you have throwbacks, pullbacks, all different types of stuff. So we're going to get into a little bit here about the symmetrical triangle, and guys, definitely this is one that you're going to want to have in that toolbox. So if you like us doing these little tutorials and you're getting something from it, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We're trying for 100 likes on this video, and we'll just dig into it, my friends. So what we're looking for here on the symmetrical triangle, what's happening is you're having lower highs on top, and that's what makes this trend line. And you see how you're having touches? A trend line always has to have at least 2 touches, 3 to make it more valid. But we're having lower highs here, and we're having higher lows that are coming in, so these valleys are getting higher. And what happens is you're having that squeezing effect until eventually you're going to break to the upside or you're going to break to the downside. Now this chart pattern chose to break to the upside. We are already moving up, and a lot of times symmetrical triangles can be continuations. So say you're in an uptrend and you have a symmetrical triangle, that'll be a continuation to the upside more likely than it will be to the downside. Say you're going from a downtrend and all of a sudden you have a symmetrical triangle, you're more likely to break to the downside than you are to the upside. But remember, a symmetrical triangle is a bullish and a bearish chart pattern. It can break either way, so be very cautious of that. Some of the characteristics of the symmetrical triangle: the shape, it says, is a triangular shape, forms within the confines of 2 trend lines, one sloping up and the other sloping down, so that they intersect at a tricep or a triangle apex. The trend line needs not be the same length. So this is the apex right in here. That's what they're talking about, that breaking point. And the apex is just you run out of room basically between these 2 trend lines, so the price has to go up or the price has to go down. Sometimes you'll float through them, but that's not very common. It says touches. There should be at least 2 distinct minor highs and 2 minor lows that touch the trend lines. In other words, at least 4 trend reversals. So the minor highs are these right here, and the minor lows were these right down in here. The next one, volume, usually recedes throughout the formation but can be irregular and is often very low just before the breakout. So the volume can be all irregular, and then volume will start to tail off. And you actually can see right here it started to tail down, and then once you had that breakout, volume started to swell back up. So pay attention to the volume. Whenever you see it start to get really low, that's a telltale sign that a move is going to be coming. So always pay attention to that. The next one, white space. Price should cross the pattern, covering much of the white space. Do you see how this is going back and forth in here, and we're really chopping up and down? Say you just had to move from here to here, that's not really valid, guys. You don't want a lot of white space in here. You want to see price action within this symmetrical triangle. That's very important. Breakout direction, unknown ahead of time, occurs when price closes outside the trend line barrier. So see this candle here? Once it closed outside of this trend line, that's when guys went long on it and it started to move to the upside. So they're saying wait while you're seeing this happen, and either wait to see a candle close break to the downside or wait to see a candle close to the upside. That's very important. The next, breakout duration, typically longer than 3 weeks at a minimum. Formations 3 weeks or less classify as pennants. So if this whole formation, this price action, has been 3 weeks or less worth of price action, it's more of a pennant, they say. If it's over that 3-week period, then it's going to be more of that symmetrical triangle. Also, the performance rank of this in a bull market is 16 out of 23. The break-even failure rate is 9%. The average rise is 31%, so that's when you break out of here. You typically will rise or run about 31%. The volume trend is downward. They're saying throwbacks happen 37% of the time. So if you break up out of here, 37% of the time you're going to have a pullback, most likely onto this trend line, to test it again as support before you move further. And then it says Percentage meetings price target 66%. Busted patterns perform better than the originals. The best performance comes from patterns near the yearly low. Alright, so that's what you want to keep in your toolbox for this symmetrical triangle. It's a very important one, and we've seen it a lot in the cryptocurrency space. So it's those lower highs that are coming in, higher lows that are coming in, and you're waiting for that breakout either up above this trend line, a candle close up above it, or a candle close below it. Those are the things you're paying attention to, and also the volume will start to decrease before you have that breakout as we near the apex here. So guys, this is just a little bit into this pattern here of symmetrical triangles. I wanted to bring it to you. I hope you enjoy these and just really dig into it more yourself. Go into Google, type in symmetrical triangles. There's a lot of chart patterns, and you'll see some that'll break to the downside, some to the upside, different things like that. But it's very important that you study this. I'm really going to dig in more to it. I got about 16 pages worth of notes here out of this encyclopedia of chart patterns just about the symmetrical triangle itself. So I'm going to dig into that, guys. God bless each and every one of you. Take care and have a wonderful Sunday.